What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In the last video, I talked about your inner child, what it is, and how to heal with it. In this video, I want to talk about three specific terms. I want to talk about parentification, trauma bonding, and boundaries and how to set them. I feel like these are very important terms to discuss and fully understand in depth, and I just want to go over them real quick. Before getting into this video, I just want to say thank you so much for 33 subscribers, I believe. It means a lot. It doesn't seem like a big number, but honestly, this is just for me, it's good to do. I hope it's helping someone out there. I hope it's entertaining somebody. I hope people are understanding what is being discussed on this channel, and how maybe they didn't understand what was going on in their situation was unhealthy, and maybe they're able to determine it now. If you have any comments or suggestions on what I should do, what I should cover, please leave them below, because I do want to do a wide range of NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, the terminology, what is it, how to deal with it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into this video. So I want to start off by talking about parentification. Now, in my last video about the inner child, and if I haven't said this already, please go check that out. I feel like it's very important to discuss what that is and how to heal with it. But I briefly mentioned parentification, and I felt like I needed to go into depth more about this one specifically. So, what is it? By definition, parentification occurs when a child is regularly expected to provide emotional or practical support for a parent instead of receiving that support themselves. So basically, it's when you're in a household where maybe it's unstable, your parents aren't fully there emotionally or mentally, and while you're growing up and you're processing your environment around you, you are taking the role of the parent instead of your parent being there for you. You're there for them. So, for example, say something is going on with the house, going on in the house, excuse me, and say your parents don't get along. It could be abusive mentally, physically, anything. One of your parents could go to you to look for support, for you to guide them through it, for you to talk to it, for you to rationalize what just happened to them. But they're putting that burden on you, except for maybe going through to one of their friends, another adult. They're parentifying you. They're making you the parent of that situation, in the sense that you have to take care of them. This role reversal can disrupt the natural process of maturing, and it can cause long-term negative effects on a child's physical/mental health. So, as I just said, this this is when you yourself as a child are currently processing the world around you. Your cognitive behavior is starting to fully go in effect. It's learning, your subconscious, all that, the whole nine yards. But if you are being put in a position where a normal child wouldn't have to go to, like in a normal household, and I mean normal and as in the parents are taking care of you, they're not putting any problems, any real world problems, quote unquote, onto you while you're still the child. And this mentally could really maybe stint your growth mentally, or since you're maturing so fast, you just think this is normal. And in many cases, when somebody gets parentified, they lack the childhood of a normal childhood, meaning they don't maybe grow up with toys, grow up playing a sport. They're too busy taking care of their parent and whatever they're trying to put the burden on you with. So the next term I want to talk about is something called trauma bonding. Now, I feel like this one isn't really talked about much. I feel it's mentioned, but fully explaining it and going in depth with it, I feel like it's very important for a lot of people, because they may not even be aware that they're quote unquote trauma bonded with somebody. So, by definition, trauma bonding is when a person forms a deep emotional attachment with someone that causes them harm. So, as simple as that is, I feel like a lot of people look over this. So this could be in any situation, right? Any toxic situation that somebody is in. It could be a spouse, like a boyfriend or girlfriend. It could be married to somebody. It could be your parent. It could be a sibling. The perfect or most common example I feel of this is, say one of your parents or one of your guardians has a substance abuse addiction, but because they're addicted to something, you feel like they're not aware of their actions. Meaning, like, they'll do something, say they'll abuse any substance, right? They'll take out that anger or whatever, the frustration that they go through on anybody around them. But because you have this close relationship to them, you think they don't know what they're doing and you still have sympathy for this person. Now, personally speaking for myself, I have seen this happen multiple times and I'm currently seeing it now. And I feel like it's truly important and detrimental to fully reflect on maybe someone that you think you have a toxic relationship with, that you make sure you're not trauma bonded with this person, because to you it might not be an issue per se, that this specific person is doing all these things, but the damage it causes around everybody, it is truly detrimental. And I feel like this isn't talked about much, and I bring just wanted to bring attention to it. This also is a cycle that what's it called? It's a cycle of positive reinforcement after, say, this person displays toxic behavior to you. For example, I just said, if somebody has a substance abuse addiction and you don't feel bad for them even though they treat you terribly, but your justification for not feeling bad is because of why they're doing what they're doing. When in regardless, everybody is responsible for their own actions. In more cases than not, they know what they're doing, and as sad as it is, as blunt as this is, they just simply don't care because they're toxic. That's all they know, and they just love to have you in this cycle. So the last term I want to talk about, I feel like, is something that everybody knows, but it's so simple that I feel like they don't really give much mind to it in the relationships that they're in, and that term is boundaries. Now, by definition, this is a conceptual limit between you and another person. So I'm sure everybody knows what a boundary is, but for example, say you're in a toxic relationship, this person doesn't give you personal space, they're all up in your business, for lack of a better term. They'll always text you like every second. They always need something from you. Say you're in a meeting at work and then your parent will just call you even though they know you're at work and you're busy. They'll just do anything and everything because they feel like you'll always say yes. And this could lead to you constantly just saying yes to appease them, could lead to burnout, could lead to all these detrimental things for your mental health. And I feel like it's a lot easier said than done than doing anything that I describe on this channel. But it is so important to do it because setting a boundary with someone that you think is toxic will it will not only make you feel better, but you'll have that set limit of what they could do, or maybe just cut them out completely, and that's your boundary with them. Maybe somebody is so toxic in your life that you just have to cut them off completely, and that is the boundary you set with them for your own mental health and maybe even physical. This is when, like, you have to do your own reflection, right? For any relationship that you're in that you don't think is healthy, you have to acknowledge the fact, and I think I said this earlier in the video too, but you have to acknowledge the fact that every adult is responsible for their own action. And to go further into this point, for another example, to just fully display this, say when somebody you grew up with does something very, very, very bad, I guess, for lack of a better word, very bad, and they just end up, maybe they get arrested, right? But say they get arrested, but they got arrested doing something you told them that they should stop doing because it's bad to do. Like, they'll get in trouble eventually. It'll come up to them, and say that day finally came. But say they get arrested and they call you with their one phone call, and they hope you could get them out of jail. Just for an example, the boundary you need to set with this person is honestly just tell them you told them beforehand that whatever you were doing was going to catch up to you eventually, one day, however it was. And it came up to you. And then them coming back to you, even though you already told them they shouldn't be doing any of this, just ultimately ended up them maybe ruining someone else's life, their day, with whatever actions they caused. But they always think that could you could back them up or justify or help them in any situation they get them in, even though they don't take any of your advice. I hope that made sense. It made sense in my head, but let me know if that made sense down below. But that's what a boundary is. It's for your own mental health that you need to set limits with certain people that may be toxic to you or people around you. So that brings me to the end of this video, guys. I just wanted to touch on these 3 topics real quick because I feel like they're simple, but they're so simple that they're easily overlooked. I hope somebody learned something from this because I'm having a great time making these videos. Thank you so much again for the support. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos if you haven't. Ring the bell for notifications, all that stuff. And I will catch you in the next one.